Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Podcast of Storm. We're socially awkward outcasts, crazy weirdos, and all of our nerds can meet, talk, and debate all things pop culture. With me, as always, is my co-host, the nerdy occultist, aka the authenticator, Delton L. Mortimer.
Good evening, everyone.
And I'm your host slash Timeline wannabe, the brainstorm pop culture. How's everyone doing tonight?
Busy with many layers of research is how I am doing tonight.
So, same old, same old.
I mean, this one is slightly more motivated considering that I'm going to be entering a competition with the results of the research, so, eh. And the irony is that I realized that I'm missing 2 books that I need in order to complete the project, and they got left at home. So my mom has been asking what day she wants to or what day we want her to visit us. So when she does, I'm going to probably have her bring the books that I'm missing for completeness' sake.
You really struggled with that sentence, yeah.
Hmm?
You really struggled with that sentence, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I kept getting tongue-tied repeatedly. It's not usual for me, but like I said, it's been a long, very research-intensive sort of day. Which is good for me, because that's when I feel the most alive, but it's also my brain is moving in 500 different directions because I'm trying to get everything together that I need to get together. I have until August, that's when the competition will be, but I have to do my best or else my imposter syndrome will keep being a bitch for the foreseeable future, so there.
Okay, sorry, give me 1 second. It's taking a little. It's taking a minute to load for some reason. So this is kind of an old article. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a couple weeks because we had a lot of issues last couple weeks to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I sound distracted, I'm currently having dinner as well. So if I'm not talking or if I am struggling to speak, which is not my normal uh, way my brain usually goes, because for some reason I can't talk right a lot of times. It's because I'm eating. So again, apologies for that. All right. It's just still loading. I guess I'll just give the preamble then. It's a Supergirl article, which Dawn sent me like about 2 weeks ago, I think, or was it longer?
I think it was 2 weeks. I cannot remember.
Well, I know. Okay. No, yeah, it would have been 2 weeks ago because that's when we were having all those technical problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Uh, hmm.
On the plus side, I got an air conditioner, so I'm not dying of heat now.
Dark, cold, and depressing, the way you like it.
Damn right.
And I'm currently trying YouTube Premium on. Yeah, it's not all cracked up, to be honest. Basically, just YouTube with some extra features that really wouldn't be used much.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
YouTube has been trying to push the premium service thing for multiple decades now. It used to be called YouTube Red.
I remember YouTube Red, which was only a decade ago.
They've been trying to Uber monetize their user base for a while now. It hasn't worked well for them because every time they come up with a premium version, it doesn't actually meaningfully induce premium shit. Therefore,
Okay.
most people have the reaction like you did of this doesn't add enough to make it worthwhile.
I mean, I can listen to music now without it, like on different. I'm on different apps on my phone. It's the only reason really I got it.
You do get ad-free YouTube, which is nice, although most people just use a ad blocker anyway.
I don't know how to use one of those, so to be fair, I didn't really notice a difference.
Well, you don't watch YouTube consistently enough for the ads to be annoying. You
I
are
watch it every
not
day. I
you
watch
are
it
not
every
a
day.
doom scroller. Like
No, I watch YouTube every day.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
how is the loading coming?
Oh yeah, no, it's finished. Just that sidetrack, obviously. Okay, so it's from Variety.com. Just effing go for it. How Supergirl star Millie Alcock learned to ignore the trolls and become a punk rock superhero. Written by Kate Arthur. Published. It doesn't say actually. Okay. A few days ago, which would have been a couple weeks ago now, Millie Alcock flew from Kyoto to Los Angeles after finishing production on a new movie. Then, after a fitting, she traveled to Las Vegas to do some press and appear on stage at DC Studios' CinemaCon presentation for Supergirl. She'd gotten 1 hour of sleep. Okay.
Darling.
Well, I feel like that's good preamble to this because I mean that just means that she's not really thinking straight or anything. I mean, I'm sure
she could be misspeaking. We will give it to her because sleep deprivation is nothing to fuck around with. Ask me how I know.
We know. We all know.
Yeah. Thank God for amitriptyline. That's my sleep.
You have, Don, I'm gonna be honest. You have said some really crazy shit on here when you are fucking tired.
I am aware.
I'm talking crazy, dude. Like, things that make me really question our friendship sometimes.
I am aware. That's why I say thank the gods for amitriptyline. Because it lets me get consistent sleep.
Alright. So my jet lag is like Alcock makes her eyes into slits, and that's why I'm very out of it in all those interviews. Yeah, again, that makes total sense. And
yeah, I would ask the studios what the fuck they're thinking, because a star that's not coherent enough to see straight probably isn't going to be very good at PR bullshit.
Yeah,
let the woman rest so that you can actually get her on whatever the company line is supposed to be.
Yeah, that just feels like a major error. To be fair, it's not the first error. And
no, Hollywood are morons. It's just that this is yet another case of you keep creating people sick, to paraphrase Christopher Hitchens, and then commanding them to do well.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Today it's Supergirl. We're here to discuss a movie neither of us has seen. When I tell her right away, and I haven't gotten this screened, a rarity for a cover story interview, and that I'm slightly abashed, she says conspiratorially, neither have I. Okay?
That doesn't feel like the... I mean, I guess there's still like at the time that this was written, they were still like a month out, so I guess it makes sense that they haven't watched the thing yet. Although, again, asking the studios what the fuck they're thinking. Shouldn't you show your product to your stars so that they can accurately promote it and shit? Just another in the long list of things we've got entitled things that are common sense to everyone outside of Hollywood, but that studios don't seem to grasp even the vaguest hint of. Moving on, yes.
Alcoholics as an actor is evident to me, though. I've watched her play the headstrong, determined, highborn Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, HBO's House of Dragon, as well as that character's opposite Simone in Netflix's 2025 limited series Sirens, whose Lily Pulitzer clothes cover up a scrappy social climber who will stop at nothing to get what she wants. Okay. I haven't seen that, so I have no judgment on that.
Moving on.
In the CinemaCon footage for Supergirl, Kara Zor-El is completely nonchalant as the space, but she's traveling on with Ruthie? Rife? I don't know. Eagerly, her teenage charge is boarded by thieving raiders. Kara, wearing a vintage Blondie t-shirt and brown trench coat, fights them off while making sarcastic quips, almost Han Solo-like.
Sarcasm and deadpan can work, but you've got to use them very carefully.
Yeah.
Because if you deadpan and sarcasm too much, it stops being charming and starts being flat. And flat is a bad thing for this movie. It's one of the major problems with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. She decided to play the entire thing stone-faced, and it led absolutely no one to find her likable. There were many problems with Captain Marvel, and I'm not saying that Supergirl is necessarily falling into the same trap. I'm just pointing out that you need to make sure that if you're going to deadpan, you got to be good at it. If you're not good at it, you'll come off as flat and unexpressive, and flat and unexpressive main characters, especially in, hyper colorful superhero movies, probably not the vibe you want to go with. Moving on.
One sec. Okay. The story of Supergirl is Kara's crippling identity crisis, but at least while in protective mode, she's fully in control. I always thought the identity crisis thing was more for like Power Girl or a Power One. I'm not sure which one.
I mean, that I imagine James Gunn, being James Gunn, told whoever the fuck is in charge of Supergirl to take as much inspiration from all of the Supergirls as possible.
Supergirl has like one of the weirdest like histories as a character.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. I wonder. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that's saying something.
Yes. As Linkara is quite famous for saying, comics are weird.
Well, it's just like there's so many different versions. I mean, I realized you kind of have a similar situation with like Batwoman, obviously.
Mm.
Kathy Kane, Kate Kane. Can't think of actually another now. I'm thinking about it, but.
But point being, there's a lot of potential different directions to go and a lot of different directions to pull from.
For the record, I'm sorry. I also want to point this up. bring this up because it's something that's always kind of bothered me. Regarding the Power Girl thing,
Mm.
well, I know she's supposed to be like an older version of Kara from Earth 2, usually.
Mm.
But in my head, why don't we just again, the streamlining of it, like in just some continuity, we show her becoming Power Girl, Power Woman. Hello, Dragon Turtle. Good to see ya. Catching up. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too. Dawn's being stressing over something that he relatively handled easily, like he usually does. So,
Shush.
am I wrong, motherfucker?
No, but shush.
He doesn't like it that I'm right. Never does.
I'm going to have to get a squirt bottle for you.
You really think that would deter me?
If I was sufficiently annoying about it, yes. Eventually. We
I
both
can-
know I can stay annoying for a very long time.
You realize I can take the bottle from you. So, I think we've been friends for way too long because we now sound like a fucking old married couple.
We do. And it is hilarious.
Yep. So, yeah, no, it's just like, I don't know, the transition from Supergirl to Power Girl or Power Woman or whatever you want to call her, I think is interesting, and I'm more surprised no one's really thought of doing that. And I realized, again, they're technically separate characters, but technically they are, just to streamline it for any kind of continuity you're going to do, I think it would just make sense.
I'm sure James Gunn is pulling from as many different sources as possible and told the director or whoever the fuck is doing Supergirl to do the same. That just tends to be his style.
Mm-hmm.
He takes as many disparate versions of a thing as he can and fits them into the likable asshole mode.
We've already talked about that. Moving on, or anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alcock appears to be similarly grounded before House of the Dragon, but after she had a starring role right on a hit Australian TV show at age 18. Oh. In need of extra cash, she continued washing dishes at a popular Sydney restaurant. I sound like a Ronald Dahl character. I was living in the attic in my family home because we didn't have enough rooms. It was so hot, and she says, I was a thing. I was washing these dishes so proudly and so terribly, and there's an open kitchen so everyone could see me. Good reference of Roald.
No, she's not wrong. It does register as a little bit Roald Dahl-esque.
What books did I read of that guy? Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
No,
Matilda, The Witches.
I didn't know. Okay, so I didn't know about Matilda. I knew that was a book. I didn't know that was Ronald Dahl.
Yeah, that's Roald Dahl.
BFG, I remember that because I had a teacher who I really liked.
BFG is his. Trying to think of any other famous ones of his that you probably have run into.
Well, I'm sure all of his books are all famous, actually.
Some are less so. It's a little bit like Dr. Seuss. Everything he wrote was famous to some degree, but there's disparate levels compared to the more successful ones.
Sorry, just give me a second.
Like with Seuss, not every book can be The Grinch or The Cat in the Hat. With Roald Dahl, not everything is as big as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which is Fantastic Flying Fruit. James and Giant Peach.
That was also him, yes.
Oh, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That is also him. The man was quite prolific as a children's author. My favorite is probably Matilda, just
I can't
because
imagine why.
the Danny DeVito Mara Wilson movie was my favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies growing up.
Hmm.
Exceedingly relatable.
Also, I didn't know he passed away in 1990.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, the man, I believe, fought in the Second World War, so that does make sense. It's just that's a shame.
Anyway,
Yeah, moving on.
she said that our conversation over breakfast at London West Hollywood is her first long in-person interview. She doesn't appear to be anything than comfortable, self-assured, quick laugh, nor is her exhaustion evident. She's bright-eyed, having woken up early to work out, and got a black iced coffee before doing an interview over Zoom. It's on her table now, ice melting.
Yeah, she's running on adrenaline. I know this game. I had to fake being bright-eyed and chipper in many a lecture hall. So yeah, I know how this game works. Like 5 minutes after the interview, she's going to crash out.
Okay, that was weird. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I thought some weird was going on my end.
No, you're good so far.
Okay. Um, yeah, but I know that feeling. Basically, I'll be honest. Even when I'm work for like first 2 hours of work, I'm basically on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Then I start to wake up after like the third hour. I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why. Like Thursday, I didn't go to bed until like 12, and I have to get up at like 4:30, about 5 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
I woke up at 5:05. I have to leave at like around 5:30 to get to work.
Fuck.
I handled everything. I had enough time still. Plus, I can take a nap in the car because I don't drive. I'm not driving yet.
Huzzah.
So, but yeah, no, that adrenaline. It's not. I don't even know if I classify it as adrenaline. Like I might even. I don't know if I was taking micro naps or not. Actually,
Ugh.
I was working.
That's when you know you done fucked up, when you start phasing in and out.
I mean, I was aware of stuff. I just had my eyes closed.
Mm.
But yeah. I asked, no, I like to change it up, she says. And what was the interview? She only got 20 minutes. Alcoholic says with a smile, don't worry. Yeah, no, that sounds like she's about like ready to crash as soon as everything's done.
Yep. As soon as she walks in the door of whatever hotel room she's staying in.
Well, she's doing a Zoom. She's doing an interview over Zoom, so she's probably in there as soon as that interview's done. She's probably
yeah. The hitting of the proverbial wall is coming. Take it from one person with an uncomfortable amount of experience with sleep deprivation to another. As soon as this Zoom call switches off, she's going back to bed and probably not emerging for 10 hours.
Yeah, it's like this. Okay, I don't know if you've had this done, Dylan, but it's when you want to take a nap, but you end up actually just going for a full sleep, even though when you wake up, you still feel like super tired.
Yeah. I've got half an hour to work with. I'm going to go take a nap 3 hours later. Oh shit! I fell proper asleep. Fuck.
Oh, I didn't know you had a cat, Dragon Turtle. Uh, yeah, that can be neutral. Okay, government problems. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've had cats too. They never really like the call. I don't think I even put calls on them, so I don't think they ever liked it.
Mm.
Would explain why one never came home. Now that I think about it.
Ooh.
Well, we let him wander. We'd always let him out, and he'd wander and come back in the evening.
Mm.
And when I didn't,
Mm.
either he went feral or someone caught him thinking he was a stray cat.
Either way, yuck.
That was, to be fair, that was like over 20 years ago. So
Mm. Anyhow,
I
on with
still
the
miss him
thing.
Midnight. Yeah, his name. Well, his actual name was Monster, but we called him Midnight.
Hmm.
So his actual name was Monster Midnight.
Cute.
I didn't name him, by the way. Well, I named him Midnight, but I didn't name him Monster. That was the name we were told he had. We decided to call him Midnight because, well, why would you call a cat Monster?
Yeah, it at that point it sounds like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It also
Yeah.
sounds like whoever you got him from doesn't know how to cat.
Yeah, when I was young, I didn't know how to cat either.
It always came fairly naturally to me.
Yeah, you have a cat mentality anyway, so.
This is very true.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, or.
Yes.
Okay. It's quite something, actually, to picture this confident 26-year-old being nervous. Oh. Huh. I don't know why. I thought she was either younger or a little older than me.
Yeah, it starts getting surreal when the it celebrities are all younger than you. Fuck. Old.
I thought she was at least early 20s. Huh. Okay. But she describes herself as so scared for her Supergirl audition in January 2024 at Georgia's Trilith Studios, where writer-director James Gunn's Superman was filming. She traveled on the 24-hour flight to Atlanta from her family home in Sydney. And a lot of good actors come from Australia. You ever notice that?
This is true.
Like, what's with
I thi-
Australia?
I think because everything in Australia actively wants to kill everything else in Australia, your choices are find a way to look on the bright side of life or die. Because it's Australia. Everything in Australia wants to kill everything else in Australia, and that's just the way it is.
I'm just like kind of impressed that you see a lot of talent from there. Like a good majority of Hollywood's like major talent these days is from Australia.
Yeah, it's not really all that surprising, again, when you consider that your choices are either find the silver lining in a country that everything wants to kill you in, or die. And God bless the Aussies, they don't choose the die option very often. Hell, Steve Irwin of Crocodile Hunter fame was, by all accounts, one of the nicest people to ever walk the earth. And he, of course, was an Australian.
Hmm.
I feel like it almost reminds me of the alternate Wasp universe in Rick and Morty, where the Wasp is just like, well, we're assholes to everything else, but that means we're really nice to each other. I feel like that's the whole philosophy of Australia is, yes, we will try to kill you every day, all the time, forever. But if you succeed, if you manage to not die from many billions of things that want to kill you in Australia, you will come out of the other end with a very positive disposition. Goddamn you!
Anyway, okay, but the car character. Oh, okay. Supergirl wasn't scheduled to begin filming for another year, didn't even have a director yet, but the Kara character would appear at the end of Superman along with its star David Cornsweet. After the main story of Superman wrapped up, a drunken Kara would make a surprise appearance before the credits, a cameo that would introduce this new messy version of Supergirl and get fans hyped for her standalone movie. Okay, I want to point this out. Kara as a character, at least within the relatively more recent years, has been portrayed as messy in terms of really more addressing her, I guess PTSD and survivor's guilt.
She watched her planet blow up. That's gonna do a number on your brain.
Yeah, I mean, not to draw. No, yeah, it's no, you got it right. I don't know why I was trying to add something there.
Everything you've ever known or cared about is space dust. Also, your baby cousin that your parents told you to look after is now in his 20s while you are still a teenager. Because timey-wimey bullshit. There's many reasons why Kara probably needs all the therapy. All of it.
Well, Australians have a problem with formal dress. For them, it's flipped, or you can say upside down. If you like someone, you talk to them as disrespectfully as possible. Like if it was in a different tone, you'd be starting a fight, and even that can be confusing. I mean, if you're just close with them,
well, yeah, you have to develop a sense of humor as an Australian, I imagine, owing to the literally everything wants to kill you aforementioned thing.
But to be fair, I think that's just isn't that normal to be kind of disrespectful to people you like? I mean,
it's normal for a lot of people who actually, have had some experience of the world. It's unfortunately uncommon among the people that want to exist in respectable society, TM. And that is why most of the people in respectable society, TM, are complete cunts.
Not just for long-term friends either. Is a nightmare for them learning other languages. I'm pretty sure has started fights in America, Canada, and the UK. Okay, to be fair, the UK makes sense because if I remember correctly, Australia was originally a British penal colony.
That is correct.
And America, let's be honest, we'll fight for whatever reason. If we're provoked, we will fight.
This is also true. I would put an asterisk here beside the Scottish and the Irish as well.
Okay.
One of them broader Anglosphere mostly has its shit together. Yeah. The UK currently, however, not so much.
All right, Giant Turtle. One of them said they went to America and had a lot of people calling them sir and stuff. Thought they were being assholes. That was people on the street.
Yeah, honestly, I think America should adopt the Scottish, Irish, and Australian way of doing things, particularly as it pertains to the word cunt. Because in America, we have this bizarre fucking double standard where dick is like one step above crap in terms of its offensiveness, i.e., most people can say it, no one gives a fuck. But you say cunt to an American, and they will look at you as though you've just beaten a baby seal to death with a golf club.
That's perfect.
I prefer the fucking British / Scottish / Irish / Australian way of doing things, where cunt should be absolutely no more offensive than dick is. Anyway, moving on.
Since Superman had a release date of July 11th, 2025. Gunn and Peter Safran, DC Studios co-chairman and co-CEOs, need to cast Kara right away. Alcock had never tested for a role in person, having been cast as young Rhaenyra, her first major job outside Australia, in the fall of 2020, when everything was on Zoom. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
But she had,
COVID did a number on the whole basically the whole Western world.
but she was scared of the audition itself. It's the stakes, Alcott says. Other young actors were in contention for the highly coveted role. Meg Donnelly, who voiced Kara in 2 animated movies, also tested. Having seen Alcock in House of the Dragon, Gunn had a sense that she would be the one, emailing recently from the set of the Superman sequel that he thought she would bring an innate edge I thought Supergirl needed. Well, I wouldn't say needed, Mr. Gunn. I would say had and does need to be shown, because I feel like a lot of people, like general audiences, have this misconception of her that she's just Superman's cousin or whatever.
I will point out that James, you look for basically any excuse to turn every character into the likable asshole a la Star-Lord. That's just your default mode. Like, let's not act like Supergirl was something you uniquely wanted to turn that into. That's basically your default mode.
Well, okay,
to be fair, when you have a likable asshole to work with, like Guy Gardner or Star-Lord, that works. But
Peacemaker, I'd also argue.
Yeah, but the trouble then becomes trying to fit every character into that mold typically does not work, because not every character is a likable asshole. It's similar to DC's problem in general whenever they try to make every character like Batman, even characters it doesn't make sense to treat like Batman. Looking at you, Man of Steel.
Can I add something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, regarding to the edge of Supergirl, she does have one, more so than Clark, obviously. Well, more so than Superman, which makes her significantly different. To be fair, it does depend on the iteration. The one I'm referring to is a more modern interpretation of the character, kind of from the New 52, which I had heard was actually a good run for her. I have not looked into it myself yet. I'm curious, though. Portrayed her as like one of Krypton's warriors, like a soldier, or was training to be a soldier in her youth. So she has a very different type of mentality than Clark does. She's actually a lot more pragmatic, and since she doesn't really have that much of a connection to Earth and humanity, which again is another point to be addressed for that character as well. She's a lot more, I guess you could make the argument of aggressive, and not in a black and white way, but more of a she doesn't hold back, I guess.
Not to mention she's traumatized as shit, being as she watched her home planet explode.
Yeah. But yeah, my point obviously being is she's there is an edge to Kara, like a natural edge that stems from her story.
I honestly think that even though James Gunn is not directly involved in Supergirl, I think she as a character fits James's sensibility better, because she has all the personal issues and all of the likable asshole kind of vibe. That was one of the things.
I wouldn't say she's an asshole. More of a cynic.
Right, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I
Um,
understand. I'm just I
James Gunn basically looks at every project like, how do I find the likable asshole? That's one of that seems to be just one of his motifs. It's
and
like
again
Tim Burton is going to turn everything into a gothic black and white wet dream. James Gunn is going to find a likable asshole somewhere, and Guillermo del Toro is going to find a human, better than human monster to play with for sympathy. These are just things that these creatives do because that's their signature move, so to speak.
um fuck, I was gonna bring up something. God damn it. Oh right, and I still stand by something I proposed a while ago. Supergirl should have replaced Hawkgirl on the Justice Gang.
It certainly would have given more basis for her character than just the comedic drunk bit at the end.
Yeah, I do think it adds a lot. And although a part of me thinks then maybe we should have swapped to have Crypto still be Crypto to be Clark's dog rather than Kara's.
Yeah, it was exceedingly weird that they made that.
No, I can understand it because who gives an infant a dog? Actually, never mind.
Because dog is man, or in this case, Kryptonian's best friend, presumably.
Yeah, I heard it as soon as I said it.
Okay, if you had a child and you knew that the Earth was going to be destroyed tomorrow, would you not want them to have a pet to grow up with?
To protect them and all that.
Well, that, but also just to, have an emotional connection to something from home and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry. But because I've seen the jokes and the memes about it, but if Supergirl had found out Lex took her dog, shit would have been over real quick.
The death, the death, the death,
Yeah.
death would befall Lex.
So, yeah, you would have to just have it that Crypto was always Clark's dog.
Yeah. Although, not going to lie, it didn't. It was just a comedic gag, and it felt kind of out of place. But I did enjoy seeing Lex get treated like a stick by Crypto. It reminded me of the talking dog from Dexter's Laboratory, thinking that Dee Dee was a stick.
Oh, I don't think I saw that episode. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
All right. This Supergirl from Tom King's 2021 and 2022 Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comics would be punk rock. She wouldn't be squeaky clean like other Supergirls. Okay. Not true.
Also, didn't
Okay.
you already use the punk rock line with Superman 25, James?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
You,
But can I
you
bring up
can't you can't simultaneously say you're changing Clark around to make him punk rock and then turn around and go, the difference between Clark and Kara is more punk rock. I actually think, again, like I was saying earlier, if you had started with Supergirl, it would honestly fit James Gunn's ethos a lot more. But you did your darndest to beg, borrow, and steal any excuse for punk rock you could in Superman 25. You can't keep using the punk rock distinction as though it's novel.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
So I was going to bring up some examples of Supergirl, like some versions of Supergirls that we know in the past that are not squeaky clean.
Mm-hmm.
DCAU Supergirl. Well,
which version specifically?
Well, primary one, Kara, not Galatea.
Right, but there's been a new DC animated Supergirl, the one with her ending up in Legion time.
Are you talking about the Tomorrowverse? Or I'm speaking like the original, like
Okay,
2000s.
that's what I was clarifying, because like much like the Teen Titans have gotten a revamp in the post Dini Tim Fallout. Um, so you would have to specify which iteration of the DC animated universe. But yeah, you said the original, so that's fine.
Yeah. She actually might be squeaky clean, kinda. I'd have to rewatch all of her scenes from the DC animated universe uh, to properly judge, but um, actually, animated movie versions tend to lean more into her more, uh, like Batman, Superman, Apocalypse, where she was taken in, brainwashed by Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Superman Unbound, if I remember correctly, where it did focus on her like experience with Brainiac destroying Krypton and taking Andor or no Kandor, right?
Kandor,
Kandor.
the Battle City of Kandor,
Yeah,
Krypton's capital city.
yeah. Um, also Tomorrowverse, even though that was a very short-lived universe for whatever fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole story. Well, it gets brought up, like her whole thing with like kind of just not being as well-rounded as Clark and being very aggressive and stuff. It gets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, Supergirl. Again, the modern incarnation of Supergirl that I know, right, or that I'm aware of,
Mm-hmm.
has never been squeaky clean because they've
No,
really.
that's one of the main distinctions between her and Clark is she she by virtue of, seeing her entire civilization fucking crash and burn has issues.
Yeah. Um, whether in the 1984 self-titled movie with Helen Slater that bombed, or in the more recent television adaptation starring Melissa Benoist for 6 seasons. Okay, I want to point out CW Supergirl. That was just female Superman. It had nothing to do with the actual Kara
Yeah, they basically
character.
just gender flipped. I mean, in many cases, they literally just gender flipped a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Uh, no, in this version, Kara, as Saffron puts it in an interview, is super tough and has been through some shit, having witnessed the slow demise of her home planet of Krypton and watched everyone she loves, her parents especially, die. Okay, that's just the whole premise of
Yeah, I
Super.
mean, we've covered this. This is not new. You're not. This is definitely in the category of just reinventing the wheel and acting like it's a new thing. Like, you guys, this has been the main distinction between Kara and Clark for what, 30, 40 years now?
I
Since
want to say
roughly,
something. Like,
since like the 80s, I'm guessing. I'm thinking.
maybe I'm not sure. At the edition that day, there was a Supergirl costume where that would come later. They scanned her head to toe to one. So they dressed Alcock in a long blue sleeve, a blue long shirt and red skirt, a shortcut filling up stood before a group that included Gunn, Saffron, Supergirl, screenwriter Anna Noguera. Noguera. If I say anything wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm not good with names.
No.
And DC executive Chantal Nong, who had long championed the project, and Saffron remembers it well. Everybody had tears in their eyes, he says. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She brings so much emotion to the role. We all looked at each other and said, "This is absolutely perfect. She's exactly what we want." Okay.
We shall see. The
Again,
the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, as the old saying goes.
that is not a saying.
Yes, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Who the fuck says that?
The English.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Not against the Brit. I have some issues with Brits just given the cultural.
The deep-seated inner desire to defenestrate the nearest fucking T because of America.
Yeah, but y'all are some flowery motherfuckers that overcomplicate the English language.
I feel like I cannot stand on any point here because, well,
At least what you say is
I-
actually don't. At least what you say actually makes sense.
no, the proof of the pudding is in the eating does make sense if you know the context for it.
It's stupid. Okay, it is a stupid fucking saying, and I realize,
It's not. You want I should give you the context for it?
maybe later. I'm just like, I don't know, man. That just does not sound like a saying. I've never heard anyone say that. Well, okay, no.
Yeah, because
I've heard the
usually it gets shortened and misquoted as the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've just never.
But yeah, the original phrase is the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Well, that does make sense, but also, huh? I'm not just realizing a lot of old sayings are really have been shortened versions of other old sayings.
Yes.
Huh?
Another great example is the original phrase is "Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are," which eventually got warped and transliterated into "You are what you eat."
Huh? Okay, that one I didn't know. I mean, I knew that "You are what you eat" was a shortened version of something. I just didn't know the actual original. Okay. Anyway, Noguera agrees. Alcock nailed it. We had really good actors come in, like people that have great auditions. She says, it's not even really about that. It's just like Millie's the girl. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, DT. That's not the original phrase. The original phrase is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. It only got warped and transliterated into the proof is in the pudding over here.
I believe that. Giant turtle.
Yeah, no, they did. They did. They explicitly roundabout the Napoleonic period basically tried their darndest to make English harder for the peasants to say. That's why the stereotypical British accent of the modern day has upper crust overtones, whereas Cockney is essentially a gutter language. Cockney is actually closer to what English sounded like in Shakespeare's day than modern British English is. Also sometimes called received pronunciation or received pronunciation.
Huh. Oh, I knew about the blood is thicker than water thing. Actually, I have that quote saved. I've been meaning to quote that to someone I really hate.
Yeah, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Speaking of fucking quotes that get twisted and malformed to all fuck. That one's particularly irritating because that's literally turning the phrase into the opposite meaning. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb is supposed to imply that the covenants you make, i.e., the chosen associations, are more important than the ones you're defaulted and born into.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what Granitor was bringing up. Is like Jack of all trades and Blood is thicker than water actually had their meanings reversed.
Yeah, it's the ones that just kind of take a secondary weird meaning is less obnoxious to me than the ones that are literally just inverted by the warping.
Yeah, I gotta remember to write that Blood is thicker than, and get ready to scream that at someone I really don't like.
I think I know who you're referring to.
You're more than likely right.
Oh,
All right. Anyway,
someday I want to make that man's head explode.
that's all for him dying from his STDs.
Hmm.
Well,
No,
actually, no. Actually, he got cured, so never mind.
maybe he'll get stabbed in prison. You never know.
Okay, you did. Don't. Too much.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. Alcock, who has an affinity for cats, shares something with those charming but unknowable animals. Ogata says, "You're just like a cat." She remembers thinking of Alcott. "I just want to put a camera on you and watch you go about the day, watching you because you're not pretending to be anything."
That's
Weird.
That is bizarre and creepy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that just did not sound
I
right.
don't know what was going through the fucking interviewer's head, but
No,
speaking
that was
spe-
the writer
yeah.
of the movie who said that.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Are we gonna have to start up Me Too again? I feel that
That's a
that
woman.
gives me
That was a
that-
woman, dude.
that's
Who said that?
fuck. That's so fucking creepy sounding.
I don't. Honestly, I can understand. I don't think that was their intention to sound creepy, obviously.
But Jesus, tell me you live in the Hollywood bubble without telling me you live in the Hollywood bubble. Fuck.
Look, as someone who constantly gets, anytime they're talking, gets miscommunicated or misconstrued because of the tone they're talking in, or doesn't really know how to talk much, thus says things wrong without meaning to. I can understand. But it's still weird.
I can understand it too. It's just damn.
It's weird. It's a weird phrasing there. All right.
Like, are we gonna have to start up hashtag Me Too all over again?
Okay. Around 10 days after her audition, Alcock estimates Gunn made it official. She was back in Sydney, and he sent her a link to a news story announcing she'd been cast. She'd never been number one on a call sheet, and when she read Nogiota's script, she felt the weight of that. I was like, I have to do all that? No, because she's in like every scene. But she also got excited. Alcott was drawn to Carr's drama, to her pain. Her personal experience being Millie mirrored Carr's experience, which was hide, run away, pretend it's not happening. She says, and then you have to face it to heal part of yourself that you've been neglecting. I mean, yeah, it's the character. I can respect that.
Mm.
I do it
Moving
all the time
along.
when I'm writing. Yeah. Dalton doesn't because, well, he's an egomaniac. I think the universe should be revolving around him at all times.
Okay, you're you're over egging it just a touch there.
Yeah, I kind of, as soon as I was getting close to the end of that sentence, I was really feeling like, that's too much.
I think you underestimate my internal sense of self-recrimination and self-loathing.
You are kind of an egomaniac, though, saying, supervillain more likely without me around and stuff.
Well, I mean, am I wrong?
No, I'm just saying that does require a certain level of megalomania.
Well, I've only ever been what I am. I am what I am, and that is all I shall ever be. I knew from a very early age that I was destined to be the villain. The problem is that all of the allegedly great and good moral people are so busy fucking up the planet that I have to unfuck it just so I can have a world that I can be a villain in properly. When the good guys fuck up so badly that the villain just has to go, fuck it, I'll fix things just so I have a world to take over, god damn it.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't say you're a villain, but you're not a bad person. There's the complete distinction there.
I suppose, if you say so. Anyway. Moving on.
We can have this conversation, but you know what? Moving on.
Yes.
She knew relating to this character, this alien superhero, was an unlikely gift. So she decided to take the leap and do the brave thing. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, who am I to turn down this opportunity? She says, I knew that it was what I needed to do because it scared me. And I thought, well, if I get one big, bad, beautiful life, why not fucking go for it? Just fucking go for it. Alcoholic says forcefully, please get over yourself. Okay.
That's slightly weird delivery as well, but we already established that she is running on empty, and I
Well,
remember
to
running on empty often enough.
She's talking to herself, which, you know, I've done that. You're trying to hype yourself up.
Yeah, we all talk to ourselves at least somewhat. The weird delivery was, who am I to turn down that role? It's like it's like trying to give herself permission for a little bit of narcissistic ego tripping, which is just weird. But again, she's sleep deprived, so maybe it sounded different in her head. Is what I'm guessing.
This summer will be a movie season in each film based on tried Story 5 Minions and Monsters. The live action Moana will be punctuated by potential blockbusters by two authors, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day and Christopher Nolan's take on Homer's The Odyssey.
Okay. While we're here, Disclosure Day fucking sucks terribly.
Yeah, I was not. When I saw the trailers for that, I was not interested.
It's bad. Like, it's not even the kind of fun, what in the fuck were you thinking bad of, like, Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds from the early 2000s. It's just, imagine an episode of the X-Files where CNN were the good guys. That's effectively what we ended up with in Disclosure Day. It is so fucking... It's not even just that it's bad, although it is. It's that it feels like Steven Spielberg still thinks that the mainstream media have any relevance to anyone ever. Like, Disclosure Day feels like a movie that should have been made before I was even fucking born. Like, if it were made in the 80s or like early 90s, around the same time as he wrote and produced Close Encounter of the Third Kind and E.T., I could kind of see it. But it's not. It's set in the modern day in 2026. And in 2026, no one respects the fucking mainstream media enough that they would be the first to break the story of a first contact scenario. What in the honest fuck? I've referenced to this on Twitter. It reminds me of the Principal Skinner meme from The Simpsons. Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. God, like the just boomer fucking normative entitlement bullshit. I can't. Anyway, long story short, Disclosure Day sucks, and I am 99.9% sure that Nolan's Odyssey is going to suck. But I will autopsy that corpse when it attempts to fucking stab me in the heart.
All right. Amid the offer more on June 26th, DC will release Supergirl, directed by Craig Gillespie, I, Tonya, who was hired a few months after Alcock. Okay, so you got the actress first before you got the. Well, no, you had the writer for the movie first, then you got the actress, then you got the director.
Yeah, that's a weird combination of that's a weird order of operations, but we shall see if it paid off for them next week ish.
Superhero movies, once the industry slam dunks and no longer sure bets. Marvel's remarkable winning streak with its Avengers movies in the 2010s fizzled after Avengers Endgame in 2019, and it's been hit or miss for both Marvel and DC in recent years. Okay, so I can't point this out because we've had this discussion so many times already.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of abridging it. It's not superhero movies at all itself, like the genre. It's more so the failure to make anything engaging for the audience as of late. Granted, there have been a few hits. Well, I would say hits, like good movies, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, those are very far and few between when you get a bunch that are basically mediocre to just bad.
Yeah, it's the flip side to the phrase "a rising tide raises all ships." When Marvel was hitting it out of the park, even the weird or bad stuff would make a substantial amount because the bad stuff was few and far between, and the mess stuff was few and far between. Unfortunately, I would actually argue the downward spiral started with Captain Marvel because I fucking hate Endgame. But yeah, starting roughly around the time of Captain Marvel, Marvel's hit to miss ratio started fucking up. And so while we did get the occasional really good one, like a No Way Home, a Multiverse of Madness, a Werewolf by Night, or an Agatha All Along, we would also get a Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a She-Hulk, or an Ironheart. And those things are unspeakably bullshit. And WandaVision contained only one good episode, don't at me. But point being,
Thunderbolts was also good too.
Yeah, Thunderbolts was exceedingly competent. Unfortunately,
Werewolf by Night.
Yes, I didn't I already say Werewolf by Night? I thought I already said Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night was,
I didn't hear you mention that. So I just
but yeah, Werewolf by Night is probably the best thing they've made since Infinity War. To be honest with you, it is a crying shame that was not an 8-episode season or something. Or hell, it doesn't even necessarily have to be an ongoing thing. You could just bring the characters back for like a Man-Thing special or a Bloodstone special, or hell, adapt Tomb of Motherfucking Dracula as like a Game of Thrones style series. Or yeah, hell, do a like Hammer horror pastiche version of Tomb of Dracula. It'd be amazing. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, while you still had the occasional really fucking good project, like a Multiverse of Madness and Agatha All Along, Werewolf by Night, and so on, for every one of those, you had 5 to 10 She-Hulk level fuck-ups. And DC, was always running on borrowed time because they've not been able to get their shit together since Man of fucking Steel in 2013. And the jury is still very much out as to whether they will get their shit together. Because Superman 2025 made less than Man of Steel did back in 2013, and that's after a decade and a half of inflation and COVID and all the other shit. And we don't know what the box office really looks like for Supergirl yet. I think what's most likely to happen is Superman's domestic number, which was 354, is probably going to wind up being Supergirl's global total. So she'll make a little bit. It'll probably make a little bit more than half of what Superman 25 did. And if it's as bland or as bad as it could potentially be, it'll wind up performing with the Marvel. I'm putting the 354 asterisk there because while I didn't see anything particularly noteworthy in any of the trailers we saw, and I still think her delivery and the writing for her character could use some fine tuning, I don't think it's going to be as bad as the Marvels or even Captain Marvel. It does look like someone somewhere gave a shit, which is more than you can say for the entirety of Brie Larson's Captain Marvel's tenure.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
It's a long article.
Yeah, we should keep going.
What I'm saying is we're probably going to have to cut it off.
True, probably. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this last passage. It's been an hour. Well, maybe we go another half hour, actually.
Okay.
So moving on? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. 2022, Brothers James Gunn, the director of Marvel's massively popular Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Safran, the producer of 2018's Aquaman, DC's highest grossing movie, to, as DC Studios chairman, established a sprawling universe inspired by Marvel.
Once again, it is an indictment of how stupid Warner Brothers is. That they have had, unlike Marvel, they've had the entire DC IP as a whole. Like Marvel did what they did while missing a bunch of pieces, but Warner Brothers has had DC for decades, and they haven't been able to manage the cinematic universe thing. That's an indictment on Warner Brothers for not understanding the IP they're fucking playing with. And I have yet to be convinced that they've learned their lesson there. But moving on.
I'm sorry. Last summer, Superman got in Safran's first film movie in the DCU, made more than $600 million at the box office, which is considered a promising beginning, but not a home run. So there's a lot riding on Supergirl. Great.
And as I specified before, it did actually manage to make less than Man of Steel did 13 years ago. Despite all the inflation, despite COVID, despite everything, it managed to make roughly 50 million less than Man of Steel did. It did manage to make 100 more than Fantastic Four First Steps, though, so there is that. Moving on, though.
For Alcoholic, those stakes she'd worry about for her audition are both professional and personal. After playing Rhaenyra for the first half of season 1 of House of Dragon, she had little appetite to work in another massive franchise, but in Kara, Superman's first cousin, she's a fellow alien from Krypton who is also sent to Earth after the destruction of their planet. She found a character whose dilemma and fears perhaps oddly mirrored her own.
Well, and here's the anchor kind of around Supergirl's neck. Given the retcon of Jor-El and Lorna in Superman 25, they now need to address that apparently the Kryptonians in the Gunverse were a lot closer to Saiyans or Viltrumites than they should be. So it's going to be an interesting trick of theirs if they do manage to somehow unfuck that. The obvious correct answer, and the answer I think we all just kind of intuitively assumed at the time until we were proven wrong, was that Lex had doctored the footage. But James Gunn has repeatedly said that Lex did not doctor the footage, and that the finished transcript was real. So that's gonna be a hell of a thing to unfuck, James.
You know, okay, it's weird because I remember when we first covered it, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I've recently looked into it, and I'm starting to see its more better appeal, considering the. I mean, I'm not as harsh on Superman 2025 because I think it does have a core to it. Despite your misgivings of it. But My Adventures of Superman, right? The Adult Swim anime-inspired Superman series has actually similar elements that DC that Superman 2025 had, where the Kryptonians, well, it was an empire that were traveling the stars, because funny enough, they actually very giant. They'd actually grown up under a yellow sun. So they had the powers, right? Naturally. So yeah, they were kind of they were kind of bad guys, but they were still people. Kind of a spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched the series. In season 2, it's revealed by Brainiac, who was a war tactician program designed for Krypton to basically help fight the war that the Kryptonians at the time. But Jor-El was meeting with leaders of the enemy faction. I don't know if they specified, but to talk about a ceasefire to end the war. Brainiac obviously didn't like that, and destroyed the planet. And he kept touting himself as the pinnacle of Krypton, holding on to more of the negative ideologies and beliefs that made Krypton the warrior conqueror race that it was, instead of also the heart, not the nuance of culture that is. There are negatives and positives, as there always is with civilization. My point I'm getting at, obviously, is Krypton, like any civilization that grows and develops, it's full of good people, it's full of bad people, and it's complicated, right? So, and again, I think I went on a whole spiel when we did the review why I think it's a really bad choice to do that. To make
and I agree with you. And one of the main reasons it's a problem is now anything related to Krypton in the Gunverse is going to have that hanging like an albatross around its neck.
Right. And like again, I could understand if they had like the major faction that the universe remembers Krypton was led by like General Zod. Yeah, history's complicated. Thank you, Giant Turtle.
It is. It is. And doing that with Krypton would have some merit if that was the deliberate choice they were making. But I'm not convinced that that was the choice they were making.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I can't believe it, but I think Zack Snyder kind of handled it better.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
that is saying all the things that it is saying. We have and will continue to bitch at Zack Snyder for projecting his bullshit onto characters that his bullshit doesn't align with. Although to be fair, this isn't a that isn't a solo mistake on Zack Snyder's part anymore, because to some extent at least, James Gunn did the same shit. Sooner or later, someone is going to have to put their foot down and say, your job is to adapt the material, not to project onto the material. But that would require Warner Brothers to get their head out of their ass, and considering that they've held their head in their ass since 2013 at the latest, I doubt that that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to crash and burn for a fourth time, because I believe we're up to 3 so far, and then we're going to have to. I mean, in the optimistic future of that, assuming that it does crash and burn again, maybe they'll finally wait a decade and like I suggested that they do when Black Adam failed. But as Brainstormer is fond of reminding me, no matter how much that would be the smart move to make, they're not going to. Especially right now, that would be a smart move, because right now, the superhero genre, so to speak, is fucking circling the drain, and we lost Brainstormer. So actually taking a decade off and letting the 2030s be the decade of DC in the way that the 2010s was the decade of Marvel, and also letting absence make the heart grow fonder for the general audience, and let an entire generation grow up without the superhero genre being the dominant genre, so that when DC makes a comeback, they can come back strong. And also around the time of the centennial for DC, because it started in 1938, so doing a golden age tinged, which I would specify, a golden age tinged shared universe, golden age period pieces in the 2030s would be a good idea, but they're not going to, because Warner Brothers has been trying their damnedest to monetize DC as a shared universe since 2013 and before, because they wanted Christopher Nolan to do it, and he told them no. So they pivoted to Zack Snyder because it was, he did it. He did apparently a decent job with Watchmen, and his style is fairly similar to Christopher Nolan's. We'll make this work. But yeah, Warner Brothers is probably about to fuck up for a fourth time in a row at trying to make an interconnected universe, and they should take the hint finally and let off the gas a bit, but they're not going to, because Warner Brothers are too stupid to understand what they have at their disposal. And we have Brainstormer back.
Hello.
Huzzah.
We were brainless for a second there, Giant Turtle. Does that mean without you guys lack authenticity? I would say yes.
Assuming that your joke premise holds, yes, I believe that is what that means.
So
But
without me, we're great.
but I'm not going to say it because that would make me sound even more up my own ass and pretentious than I usually do. And that's
I think
saying something.
you really have no idea how often you come across like that, do you?
I am aware.
But I'm gonna be so. Full honesty, I think with that technical issue, we might speed this along in case nothing happens.
Yeah, let's move to the trailers. Trailers are usually easier on the internet anyway, so
Yeah, give me one sec.
yep. I feel like if I was any were creature, I'd be a were sphinx. I love sphinxes. And yes, it is largely due to their use in the way they were used in Pact. So yes, I would probably be a were sphinx if I were any were creature.
Not really too sure what I'd be if I was aware of something.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would guess canine, but I'm not too sure on that.
What animal would Brainstormer's were default be? Hmm.
Werepit, maybe.
Need to think here. What animal would I associate with Brainstormer? Hmm. This will require more pondering later, but I can't think of anything at the moment.
All right. So I only heard inklings of this, and now we're getting a teaser trailer of it. I don't know anything about this really, but this is the teaser trailer for Hexed. It's one of the newer Disney movies coming out, I guess.
Apparently, they have changed the concept from what was originally pitched. Because originally, Hext was going to be Disney's attempt to reach out to boys because because girls tend to be the consumers of Disney animation stuff. Originally, this was going to be their attempt to appeal to boys, but they appear to have changed their minds because the main character is now a girl again.
Were Firmus, I mean were dog, sort of breeds that placement. So like a Belgian Malinois, maybe a German Shepherd.
I don't
Belgian
see
Malinois.
I don't see Brainstormer as a puppy. That's the problem.
That's why I say were Pitbull. Yes, that's most.
I could see you as a pit bull, but I think we can do one better, I think. A Wolverine. Brainstormer is a were Wolverine. That is what I am going with until I can think of a better answer.
Badger.
I could also see you as a badger, yes.
What about mongoose?
Also possible.
I'm just crazy enough to do it.
I could also see you as a were raccoon.
I fucking hate raccoons. I'd never be a raccoon.
You know, like, oh, you must not have read you must not have read Rascal in elementary school like I did.
The fuck is Rascal?
It's a book about a boy who nurses a baby raccoon to health.
Dude,
and
okay,
then-
I've had experiences with fucking raccoons. One fucked up one of my cats because he got into a fight with it,
Mm.
and the other time, it fucking crashed through one of the fucking ceilings in my house.
See, but that kind of energy is why I think you would make a decent were raccoon.
Motherfucker, I want to kill a raccoon. Those guys are fucking. They are fucking destructive. Don't get me wrong. I have seen the videos of them being cute and shit, but not fucking person, man. I have dealt with fucking chaos gremlins. Okay.
To be fair, not that I'm ignoring your preferences. I'm just saying there is precedent for were creatures disliking their were side. I still think a Wolverine fits the same kind of energy in a way that you wouldn't dislike those. So I am going with where Wolverine until I can think of something better, and my second and third choices are Badger and Mongoose. Some feral little weasel-like creature that laughs in the face of poisonous and venomous shit. That fits Brainstorm pretty well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about Hexed like at all. But to be fair, I don't really keep an eye out or hear anything about Disney shit anymore because well, nothing's really popped out to me for a long time now. So
I heard the concept when it was originally being pitched, and they appear to have changed their minds because they initially were going to use Hexed as a means to appeal to boys in the same way that they switched Marvel around to try to appeal to girls more. But they appear to have changed their minds because the main character is now a girl again, I think. But Banana.
I don't know.
My whole life, I felt like there was something wrong with me. Why did he even fire her? I'm such an old joke.
Billy, you owe me a 10-page essay on why you're a pain in my butt. Do not make me call your mom.
What in
The fuck is this? I'm sorry. This just feels like the most generic early 2000s high school bullshit.
Yeah. The original
like,
concept. The original concept was a lot more interesting. I don't know why they decided to change the concept around, but this is just lame.
Okay, honestly, they've done that a lot with like a lot of their more modern movies. Like, my God, look at Wish.
Yeah. Oy. At the very least, this doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look as bad as Wish.
That looks
But
generic.
then again, I didn't think Wish looked entirely without merit, and it was. So
yeah. How you feel choking on those sour grapes?
I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, Disney. I really wanted to.
Okay, but Giant Troll brings up a good point. It's not like boys can't like girl characters if written well. Like, okay, I'm going to assume all of us here grew up in the 2000s, right? We watched a lot of cartoons growing up in the 2000s.
Yes, thereabouts.
Okay, how many of those shows had female protagonists?
In the early 2000s, it was like.
I'm for the record. Okay, let me clarify.
It was like 60. It was like 65% female protagonist, with another like 10 or 20% where there was a strong female supporting character. Like
my
number
point.
5 wasn't necessarily the main character, Codename Kiss Next Door, but she was
fascinating.
One of the most competent members of Sector V. So
Well, I'm bringing up, and again, I want to specify like action cartoons, right?
yeah,
Kim Possible, obviously, that's kind of given.
yeah,
Totally Spies,
yep,
Wings Club.
yep.
I'll be fair though. I got more into Witch.
I also liked Witch more, which was more interesting. This is one that you guys might not remember because it probably was before your time. But anyone remember the life and times of Juniper Lee?
Oh my god! Fuck, I have memories of that.
That
was-
show should have had more than
It was
not
like
even a full season. It got
Honestly-
canceled after like 4 episodes, and I hate it.
no.
Hmm?
Oh. Now you went on for a few seasons, right? Like,
Did it?
hold on. There's no way it got canceled after. The fuck? No. Okay, it had 40 episodes. Yeah, 3 seasons.
Really? I'm gonna have to
Oh,
do a little bit of internet archaeology and watch the episodes of Life and Times of Juniper Lee that I haven't seen. But in the vein, My Life as a Teenage Robot.
God, I was just about to say that. I was about to fucking say that.
Great minds think alike, I suppose.
Be fair, I'm going to be fully honest. I thought The Life and Times of Juniper Lee was like a sister show to American Dragon Jake Long. I know they were on different networks.
It did feel very, very similar to it, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But, wow. Okay. But yeah, like, seriously, like, a lot of times,
When we were kids, gender did not matter.
it really didn't. Also, let's be fully honest. Those action cartoons with like the badass females really affected our taste in women.
Well, yes, and even if a female character was not the main character, she was almost invariably the smartest and most competent character.
Yeah, but sorry, I want to go back to this. The way they were talking, by the way, holy fuck, is that like the most just, I can't believe I'm going to use this word, cringiest, like piss poor attempt at speaking like someone from Gen Z. And I'm talking about like someone who's like early.
The how do you do, fellow kids is strong with this one. I would put money on the fact that as soon as this comes out, it's going to bomb horribly. And then we're going to get a bunch of behind the scenes information on what this was originally going to be and what we could have had. And that it was actually going to be a really badass, like, urban fantasy coming of age story that they chickened out and pussied out at the last second and didn't make.
I had heard someone, like I said, I only started recently seeing stuff about this. I'd seen someone mention that it looked like kind of a copy of Owl House, which, okay, that's actually kind of a modern female-led show that's pretty good. A mix of Owl House with something else, but I can't remember. But yeah.
Yeah,
we're only 20 seconds in.
Yeah, this is massively disappointing. Banana.
Yeah. Plus, I've actually also heard good things about a Netflix show called Ginny Chow, and what was it? It's kind of like I would argue, from what I've seen of the trailer of that was it kind of reminds me of Juniper Lee, actually.
Mm.
Gentry Chow versus the Underworld. That's
I have not seen that because I have not logged into Netflix since I moved, and I assume it's newer-ish.
like a year or so ago, I think it
But
came out.
speaking of female-led supernatural fighting shit, and I have sung this show's praises to hell and back, and I will continue to do so until we get a season 2. But
Tresse.
Tresse, god damn it, love Tresse. Tresse is so fucking awesome.
You thought about looking into getting the comic?
I have. It's in one of my Amazon wish lists. It's in the comic wish list because I categorize
can have
everything.
Wait, hold on. You can have multiple wish lists.
Yes.
That's everything in one list. Okay, I'll figure that out later. Anyway,
Yep.
no.
Banana.
Holy smoly. He's in the bathroom!
It's not appropriate, but I'm coming in.
Well, someone is ripping off Paranorman like their life depended on it. Unoriginal hack. Brainstormer.
If it's an choice before we
Sorry, you glitched out a bit. What were you saying?
it looks so generic, is what I said. What I'm saying.
Mm. I can't get over how much it looks like the bathroom scene for Paranorman. Like, if you're gonna copy homework, copying Paranorman's homework is certainly a good choice, but god damn it, you can be a little bit more subtle and nuanced about it. Don't just straight lift a fucking scene from the thing.
All right, what was I? Right. Okay. Again, if it's an artistic choice that it looks like the ordinary world before we get into the magic and stuff looks super drab, boring, colorless, basically.
Basically
That's
doing
fine.
what the Magicians did.
What any kind of urban fantasy does, really.
Yeah, but the obvious visual
I'm not saying that's
contrast.
distraction. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just pointing it out.
Mm-hmm. It could very well be that. We shall have to look at when the magic comes in more.
Yeah. All right, let me get to that. Oh wait. And if you find it, mind send me the Juniper League videos. And if not too much trouble, maybe some others like Dragon Challenge Showdown or Jackie Chan Adventures.
I do know of a channel that used to have Jackie Chan Adventure stuff on it called Throwback Tunes. I will look there first. They might also potentially have Juniper Lee, although I haven't looked specifically for that yet.
Right.
Speaking of badass Asia influenced cartoons, 3 Delivery.
I think they did like an election thing a while ago.
Mm.
That was Nick like at night.
Hmm.
God, anyone remember Nicktoons?
I do.
Of course you do. You're old as shit.
Yes, I am aware. I am the oldest motherfucker here. and we lost Brainstormer again. But yes, DT. If there are any old school cartoons you were looking for, look up the channel Throwback Tunes. I know at one point that they had a bunch of Jackie Chan Adventures on there. I don't know what else they had on there, but they did have other stuff. I went looking for. I wanted to rewatch Jackie Chan Adventures because Jackie Chan Adventures is awesome. And there's a YouTube channel called Throwback Tunes that at least used to have a bunch of shit on it. I don't know if it still does or not. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find Juniper Lee though, because Juniper Lee came and went in a twinkling, and hopefully a bunch of people preserved it because it's that cool. But I don't know. I do know that Juniper Lee. The episode of Juniper Lee that's stuck in my head is the one where she fights Loki. Loki, god of mischief. He's that's the episode that got stuck in my head as regards Juniper Lee. I'm gonna have to go internet archaeology-ing to see if anything from Juniper Lee got preserved. And now we wait for the Brainstormer to make a comeback. Oh. Oh. Fuck. Oh. Oh my. I'm guessing Brainstormer had to reboot his entire computer. That's usually when he takes this long. What the dysfunction is. Oh. Oh, god damn it. The yawning. The yawning has begun. And he has returned. Huzzah.
Can
You cut out a little bit there.
hello? Anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I can hear you.
Oh.
That's fine.
Let me get the Hex trailer up.
Hmm. Oh. Oh. God damn it. The yawning. The yawning has begun. Oh dear. We appear to have reached the point in proceedings where the technical difficulties make themselves palpable. Okay, he's back again without an avatar picture. Silence. If you are speaking Brainstormer, I cannot hear you. I cannot speak to Dragon Turtle. It's his ability to hear. And he's gone again. The technical difficulties have begun their long march through the institution that is Brainstormer's Wi-Fi. Begun the technical difficulty wars have. Oh boy. Okay, good. It wasn't just me having issues hearing Brainstormer then. That is useful information. Thank you, DT. God damn it. His Wi-Fi connection, my endless series of yawns, apparently. Begun the technical difficulty wars have. I apologize, guys, for the technical difficulties. God damn it, Yawn. Be gone. There is work to be done, and it shall not be done with the yawning. If it takes Brainstormer much longer, we may have to call it. Which is a shame. A darn shame. Problem being, I have no mechanism with which to turn off the stream. It is being streamed through Brainstormer's computer, and thus he is the one with the termination capacity. I do know that. Okay, he's back.
Hello?
Hello. You are coming through fine. There is your icon.
Okay.
Took a second to load. But back to the trailer.
Give me one. Alright. Go. Did you get? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see the trailer?
Yes. Yes. Everything appears to be functioning fine.
Why the fuck would you cut? I don't know how people don't understand the thing about Jinx. Fucking Christ. Hello?
Hello. You are
Okay,
still coming through
I'm sorry,
fine.
it is just the silence that is killing me.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm not talking as much because every time I've tried to open my mouth for the past 20 minutes, a yawn has befouled my voice.
Okay.
There it is again. Yes, banana.
I don't even know where we go from here.
You are insane.
Frozen is overrated.
It is. Tangled is actually the much better movie. And the much better story, as it happens, if you've watched the
Princess and the Frog is a better movie.
that is also true.
Oh my god, is there a delay?
There does not appear to be, as far as I'm aware.
Oh man, that's 5 seconds for you to answer.
Well, if there are another set of technical difficulties, I say we call it. Because I don't know how many
I
more
repeat,
times
1, 3, 4, 5.
you're coming through.
Okay, but yeah, yawning.
Yes, the awning. God damn it. And there he's gone again. Fuck. I think we're just gonna have to call it, folks. 'Cause I don't know how many more times we're gonna be able to get away with this. We will resume these trailers Next week, continue to have fucking technical difficulties deciding to just shortchange the show entirely. I am beginning to rapidly lose my patience with the technical difficulties.
Thank you for your service. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm going to. I believe we're just going to have to call it an end to this particular stream. Because I don't know how long it will take him to. Never mind. Speak of the not devil, and who shall appear?
Okay, so fuck it. We're gonna cut. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my fucking screaming. Don't know fuck. So thank you all for coming. With that, folks, I want to say goodbye, adios, I love you, sayonara, cheers, and
Shalom and fuck off, so that Brainstorm may remain sane.